Are these top WWE stars joining a new Bray Wyatt faction? We got the backstage reaction to Bray Wyatt's Extreme Rules return, and multiple Impact Wrestling stars are departing the company, so stay tuned. Bray Wyatt came back at Extreme Rules. You already know that. It was excellent. For me, it's in my potentially top 5, maybe even 3 returns of all time. What did you reckon?
I absolutely loved it. We were literally just talking before now, and I was like, it was well worth the wait until the end of the show to see how everything played out. It's always so exciting to see how Bray will return because he is so creative. We're always like, there's so many possibilities of how it can actually happen, and to see how it did happen, I thought it was really good.
They nailed it, didn't it?
Yeah.
I really think there's nothing about that return that I would change. Normally, you can nitpick and you can go, well, I don't know, but honestly, I think it was so well executed. A lot of people are talking about 2 top WWE stars potentially joining Wyatt's potential new faction. Obviously, we saw the masked figures at ringside before we got the reveal of Bray himself. Well, yesterday, Seth Rollins and Liv Morgan's Twitter and Instagram accounts both went dark. They both blacked out their profile picture and header, which caused them both to trend as well. And there's an awful lot of speculation. And make up your own minds on this totally, that they might be connected to Bray Wyatt's return and could be unveiled as one of Wyatt's Funhouse puppets. They're big names. Both of them, of course, losing on Saturday night. Do you see it happening?
I mean, there were little teasers, I think. It feels like either they were put in there to throw us off a little bit, or they were put in there deliberately, especially towards the end of Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey's match, where Liv's getting choked out and she's smiling at the same time, which was weird, a little bit weird. And then afterwards, I think in one of the WWE exclusives that you see online, where they post little videos, Liv was found backstage just in a dark corner, kind of looking like she was going a bit mental. As for Seth, I don't think we've seen anything since his loss. I don't think they did any of that and put that on the YouTube channel. So that remains to be seen. But I can see something happening with Liv, definitely. And I think it would if she did join the faction, I think it'd make up for what has perhaps been a lackluster title run for her.
It's been all right. It's nice to have seen her elevated to the world title picture. Yeah. But it's been hit and miss, to say the very, very least. It's not just those two, though. Another top WWE name in Grayson Waller, also recording a video on Twitter. He's addressing Apollo Crews, who's currently feuding with in NXT. And then 20 seconds in, Waller leans forward with the camera, and a Bray Wyatt head lantern appears in the shot briefly. It's the one that The Fiend carried to the ring before his matches. What do you make of that? Do you reckon Grayson Waller would be a good shout?
I mean, as well, another thing in that video, Grayson Waller's wearing a Hawaiian shirt too, very similar to the one that the Buzzard character, when we saw him in the crowd, was wearing too. A different colour. So I can see that happening. I think it would be an amazing opportunity for someone from NXT to be in a faction with Bray Wyatt. That would be incredible. I think Grayson Waller's a very charismatic individual as well, and does some of the best mic work on NXT at the moment too, out of all of the new talent that have joined. So I think that could be really interesting as well. I know a lot of people perhaps thinking, Joe Gacy might do something as well, because he's been teasing quite a bit. But yeah, I'm intrigued to see who does eventually reveal themselves to be in this faction.
It's such a huge rub, and I think they've got an awesome opportunity here with Survivor Series round the corner. To do Bloodline versus New Wyatt family. If they want to go down that route, it's just such a big match. Maybe you hold that off for next. Would you not love to see that? Why?
I don't want to see it, as long as there's no titles and stuff involved.
Yeah, there wouldn't be. No, just Bloodline, okay. Hey, not for brand supremacy, just to see who's the most badass faction.
But that's the thing that puts me, putting them into the title, not into the title picture, but maybe up against, the top people straight away. Because that
doesn't have to lead to a Bray versus Roman match.
No, I guess it doesn't. That's
I'd
true.
be up for that. Listen, if he's not the Fiend, I don't have a problem with him winning titles so much. I think the problem was booking the Fiend character with a title win, not the Bray Wyatt character.
But to be fair, we haven't seen how this character is going to be portrayed necessarily. So you're right in terms of that. So I'll hold expectations. We'll see what happens.
We will see what happens. Whoever gets that, it's a massive rub. This, this honestly could just be Seth, Liv, and Grayson Waller, where it's a Twitter video. This could just be them attaching themselves to the buzz to get people talking about them.
Yeah, definitely.
If that's the case, it's worked. We're chatting about you, lads. Next up, we got the backstage reaction to Bray Wyatt's WWE return. This is from Fightful Select, who say that WWE sources that we spoke with said that Wyatt's return was very well received and that they were very happy with the buzz created in the weeks leading up to Extreme Rules with the QR codes and cryptic videos. Several WWE sources had been playing up Extreme Rules as a big night to the media ahead of the weekend. As early as 1 week after Vince's retirement, members of the new WWE regime told Fightful that they were optimistic about Wyatt's return. A full month before Wyatt returned to WWE, one WWE source was completely convinced that he was back with WWE or heading back. Several that are usually in the know kept out of the loop about the context of the White Rabbit videos until this past week, so they were super secretive about the whole thing, and some of the references had to be approved, but standard WWE creative were largely hands off. It's been very much, if reports are to be believed, to do with Rob Fee, the new head of not continuity, was long-term creative. Long-term creative, the guy that had pitched the Fiend movie and all that. It's just, I can imagine the excitement backstage, because not only was everybody talking about WWE in the run-up to this, it was very helpful for ratings, but also Bray is a really loved guy backstage. He's somebody that you don't really hear a bad word about, right?
No, exactly. And it's just, again, we've said it multiple times now that Triple H is back. It's a really exciting time for WWE. There was so much buzz around this B show, a show that we don't really often talk about a lot. I think Triple H put a lot of stock in it in terms of the stipulations, the matches, and obviously with the Bray return and building up to it. They seem to be going in a really good direction. I'm happy that it almost feels like there's someone separate doing all of this Bray stuff, which I'm happy with.
Yeah.
Because I think, when things aren't sort of filtered down between so many people, stuff gets watered down and things get changed and everything, don't they? But I think if you've got Bray and Rob Fee just together, doing all of this creative stuff together, I think that's a really good combination. Like, those two people are fantastic together, and they've proved that already so far, just from all the teasers.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens with them two going forward. I think it's going to be exciting stuff.
But how close did Bray Wyatt come to joining AEW? If Dave Meltzer is to be believed, responding to somebody talking about that potential AEW debut, he said, actually, negotiations got to the point that there was a date, but like all talks, they didn't come to terms. So there was a date in mind for Bray's AEW debut. That didn't happen. Maybe Triple H taking over as head of creative really swayed things. Like Bray and Triple H, I think, have gotten on pretty well in the past. And it really did seem that the problem with Bray Wyatt's booking and presentation was very much down to Vince McMahon.
Yeah, there's
everything we've heard anyway.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I guess the difference at that point was that he would probably have more creative freedom in Tony Khan's company than he would have with a Vince WWE if he went back to that.
For sure.
So I think the Triple H stuff probably did play a huge factor in it for Bray. And I'm sure he said to him as well, you've got a lot more freedom to do what you want to do.
I don't see a return to sort of creative control contractually, but I think assurances will have been made with regard to creative presentation. Next up, spoilers if you watch Impact. Some big stuff has happened. So if you're leaving us, goodbye. Thank you for watching the Bray stuff, but some big stuff in Impact right now, including a potential or multiple potential departures from the company. So first of all, an Impact title has been vacated. Frankie Kazarian handing the X Division Championship over to Scott D'Amore, utilizing option C, which means he swapped the title for a shot at the world title. Kazarian will get his match against Josh Alexander at Overdrive. So now the X Division Championship is vacant. I was very, very perplexed quite confused when Kaz won the X Division title on Friday night at Bound for Glory, which was a decent pay-per-view, beating Mike Bailey there. And I thought, oh, that's a shock. Maybe it's so that when Kaz pops up the odd time on AEW TV, they can show the belt there, but it appears it's more for storyline reasons. On top of that, at some point, you've got Bully Ray, who won the Call Your Shot Gauntlet match, taking on Josh for the Impact World Championship. That was a shocker as well.
Josh is just going up against a lot of old legends, I guess.
Yeah. I guess so. It was quite surprising. I really did think that it would be anybody but Bully Ray. I thought he might get down to the final 4, maybe the final 2. He did both, and then he won the bloody thing. Anyway, multiple Impact Wrestling stars departing the company. Also, Honor No More members at the same set of tapings, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, lost the Impact Tag Team Championships to Heath and Rhino. Had a lovely little reunion together.
That makes me happy.
Also, Eddie Edwards dressing down Honor No More, leading to PCO snapping, attacking the entire faction. Following the segment, Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, Vincent and Maria Kanellis Bennett went out, acknowledged the crowd, embracing, indicating that they are probably, I guess, done with the company. I think there's a few there that might get picked up by WWE. I'm surprised that Eddie Edwards hasn't sooner, to be honest.
Yes, me too.
And Mike Bennett and Maria also, they had a few goes at it in WWE. I think they were released twice, weren't they?
I think
did
so,
they get released, then brought back,
and then brought back
again?
Yeah, I think so.
Serves.
I mean, obviously, there's still the whole thing about Ring of Honor. Hopefully, at some point getting a TV deal soon, so perhaps they go back over there because they were a part of Ring of Honor for a little bit.
That's a possibility.
Yeah, it definitely is. There's a lot of opportunities for a lot of people now in the wrestling sphere, so it's quite exciting.
But Impact losing some big names, some prominent names. Anyway, so there you go. We will be back for more news very, very shortly. Andrew, before we go, have you got an apology to make to anybody who might be sat here?
For what? I did not do anything.
Okay, brilliant. See you in a bit.